I have a lot to say about the Persona series. My first exposure to the series was in about 2012-ish, maybe, I think. I saw a trailer for Persona 4 Arena on YouTube, and I thought it looked like the coolest thing ever. A group of hip teens with style and this rad-ass fuckboy fighter. I was mesmerized. This was also right around the time I was getting into anime, so after I had my fill with Dragon Ball and I started my journey through One Piece, it was 2014, and I was 12 years old. So that meant only one thing. Time to sell all my LEGO games and buy Persona 4 Arena for the PlayStation 3. Also, I'm pretty sure I had already seen P4R Hiya and Daisy multiple times by this point. I was already aware of this game's status as not only a rad-ass fuckboy fighter, but also a sequel to Persona 4. I also already had a PS2 at this point, so I totally would've just started with P4, but I was 12 and I was too scared to ask my mom for a rated M game. That's the actual reason. Anyway, I got Persona 4 Arena, and I loved it. Played it all the time, I would make my friends play it with me, and we even recorded it and posted it on YouTube. Those videos are still up too. After this, I watched the Persona 4 anime from 2011. I loved it back then, and honestly, I still love it now. I think it's probably the best video game adaptation, in my opinion, film, anime, or otherwise. Ultimax came out. Played that shit. November 2014. Got P4 on PS2. Played that shit. Although I never actually ended up finishing that one. Christmas 2014. PS Vita. Persona 4 Golden. And also Persona 3 FES on PS2. Played that shit. Anyways, at this point, I was a fan. But I still haven't played the PS1 games! I'm a fucking normie! And a car. Let me be real with you. Persona 4 Golden is my favorite game of all time. It's a game that means a lot to me. It introduced me to a whole new world of Japanese games. It was a fantastic experience, and it even helped me through some tough times. By the time I finished my first playthrough, I was 14. So this fictionalized high school dating sim game was the perfect escape from my normal, boring downer of a real high school life. I love this game. It has its flaws, like everything does, but I don't care. It's flawless in my mind. I love the characters, I love the story, I love the combat, I love the dungeons, I love the anime cutscenes, I love the voice acting, I love the music, best in the series, I love the spin-offs, I love Marie, best girl. This game is a part of me, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Persona 3 is a fantastic game as well, but it doesn't mean as much to me personally. I have a lot to say about it. Maybe I'll say some of those things at some point, but not right now. So yeah, P3 and 4 are the games I immediately think of when I think of Persona. But there's also that other one I played like 114 hours of. I don't hate Persona 5, but I don't think it's that great. When Persona 5 came out, I was 15, and I loved it. Not to the same extent as 4. Even back then, I was pretty disappointed with a few things. The problems were always there, but I notice them way more now than I did back then. Someone kinda made a 5-hour long video about P5 and all of its problems, so you should go check that out for a more detailed analysis on that. Persona 5 is a mixed bag in my eyes. The story is easily the weakest in the series, out of the ones I've played of course, but the gameplay is certain degrees of based. The characters are pretty mixed, a few I like, a few I don't like, a few I'm indifferent to. Most of the S-links aren't that great, but that doesn't actually bother me. It's not like the S-links in the previous games were all 10 out of 10s either way. Also, I feel like they really dropped the ball when attempting to tackle moral ambiguity. I think making the Phantom Thieves anti-heroes would have been way cooler than this wishy-washy, yeah, our actions are totally right and for the good of everyone, because we're the main characters. They set up things, but they don't actually do anything with them. The villains are almost all cartoonishly evil mustache twirlers, and one of them is literally just a shitty repeat of Persona 4's villain. And there's a whole lot of tonal whiplash when it tries to handle more serious and dark topics, but ends up reverting back to its wacky anime hijinks like nothing ever happened. The old games had similar issues, but like I said before, this game tries to do a lot of things, but doesn't end up actually doing anything or saying anything about them, like the older games did. In P5, it's just handled poorly. Very disappointing. But like I said before, I don't hate it. The minute-to-minute gameplay loop is incredibly enjoyable, and seeing all the numbers go up is always satisfying. But Persona 5 is in the past now. Right now, we have Persona 5 Royal. Although a lot of my problems with the OG carry over, this game is a real improvement. They refined the combat and added a lot of new mechanics, so now it has more of its own identity, instead of just it being P3 and 4 with less menu scrolling, I guess. Oh, and guns. And demon conversations. So it's basically just like the older Persona games, but with less menus, which is what I said already, essentially. Not gonna lie, guns in the OG were pretty shit though. I mean, they're no more useful than they were back then, but now they reload fully after every battle, instead of just every time you leave and come back to the metaverse. So yeah, better. Number go up will always be very satisfying. I'm skipping through a lot of the old unchanged story bits, and I'm playing it on hard mode, which is way more fun. Since I've already played the OG, I know what I like, I know what I didn't like, so I'm kind of forming my playthrough of the Royal to be the best experience it can be. And honestly, I'm enjoying it a lot. Also, Kasumi is best girl. I thought I'd be dating Kawakami in this playthrough, but once I met Kasumi, I knew that was the route for me. Weird how the characters they add in the re-releases end up being my favorite characters in their respective games. So yeah, along with Kasumi, new characters, new S-links, whole new semester, and dungeon. I'm only 40 hours in at the moment, so I can't exactly give you my full thoughts just yet, but when I've seen all that this game has to offer, I might just have to make a follow-up vid. So yeah, P5 bad, P5R good. Persona flawed. Persona 5 is very flawed and overrated. It's not terrible though, but it's not that great either. Even so, I'm enjoying the Royal a lot. I still don't like the story, and there's still a lot wrong with the game, but I'm genuinely having a good time with it. I love the Persona series. Even if 5 is not my favorite, it's still a pretty good game, all things considered. But I just hope that the future games can be as good as 3 and 4. Or, you know, they could just finish making Shin Megami Tensei 5. Anyways, Kasumi made Persona 5 a good game. Play it for her and nothing else. I'm out. It's end slate time. I'm really proud of how that turned out. That was cool. I like that a lot. I moved the mic a little bit away. So yeah, I haven't played Persona 1 or the 2 duology, or there's also a lot of the SMT series that I'm yet to delve into, but I really want to. I have all those games. I have a couple Shin Megami Tensei games. I have 4 on the 3DS, and I emulated a few. I really want to play If, because that's like the cool one that like spawned Persona out of it, kind of. Excited to play the original Persona games. I really want to play Catherine as well. I have that. I've had like the PS3 version for a couple years, like before the new one came out, and I still haven't played it. So yeah, I'll have to be getting to that. There's a bunch of games I gotta get to. I kind of just like, when the whole quarantine started, I was like, alright, I'm gonna like buy a bunch of games, so I don't run out of things to play, which wasn't even like an issue anyways. So I've just been like backlogging things, and like, I just kept doing it. Whether it was I was actually buying them or just emulating them, just downloading the RARs and extracting all that stuff, getting it all set up, working. But yeah, now I have like tons and tons of stuff backlogged, so even like when the quarantine is all over and done, I'll probably still have this huge backlog of stuff that I like collected during or before the quarantine. that I'm still not done with yet. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm enjoying Final Fantasy VII Remake. Pretty good. Honestly, I like the original more. Maybe that's just the fanboy in me. Persona 5R is good, like I said. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, I've been Protagonist. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your quarantine life. I mean, it's not too much to ask, I guess. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, even if I had some less than positive things to say about a game that you probably like, because Persona 5 is extremely popular. Probably even more so than the other games, sadly. But yeah. That was the vid. You can like and subscribe, comment, all that stuff if you feel so inclined. Or if you have the ability to, who knows? Cut that out. Yeah, that's it. End of video. It's done. Go. I don't know how to end things.